without examining our own role in electing them. It falls to each of us to be those anxious, jealous guardians of our democracy. To embrace the joyous task we've been given. To continually try to improve this great nation of ours.
We turned that off.
For all our outward differences.
Did I turn it off?
You did,
We, in fact,
No, time.
all share the same proud title.
Can you
The
sit?
most important office in a democracy.
I'm not trying to get your space. Just
Citizen.
sit. Move over.
Citizen. So you see, that's what our democracy demands. It needs you. Not just when there's an election, not just when your own narrow interest is at stake, but over the full span of a lifetime. If you're tired of arguing with strangers on the internet, try talking with one of them in real life.
Mr. Tweeter.
If something needs fixing, then lace up your shoes and do some organizing. If you're disappointed by your elected officials, grab a clipboard, get some signatures, and run for office yourself. Show up. Dive in. Stay at it. Sometimes you'll win. Sometimes you'll lose. Presuming
at least you did
a
something.
reservoir of goodness in other people, that can be a risk. And there will be times when the process will disappoint you. But for those of us fortunate enough to have been part of this work and to see it up close, let me tell you, it can energize and inspire. And more often than not, your faith in America and in Americans will be confirmed. Mine sure has been. Over the course of these 8 years, I've seen the hopeful faces of young graduates and our newest military officers. I have mourned with grieving families, searching for answers, and found grace in Charleston Church. I've seen our scientists help a paralyzed man regain his sense of touch. I've seen wounded warriors who at points were given up for dead walk again. I've seen our doctors and volunteers rebuild after earthquakes and stop pandemics in their tracks. I've seen the youngest of children remind us through their actions and through their generosity of our obligations to care for refugees or work for peace. And above all, to look out for each other. So that faith that I placed all those years ago, not far from here, in the power of ordinary Americans to bring about change, that faith has been rewarded in ways I could not have possibly imagined. And I hope your faith has too. Some of you here tonight or watching at home, you were there with us in 2004, 2008, 2012. Maybe you still can't believe we pulled this whole thing off. Let me tell you, you're not the only ones. Michelle?
Yeah, girl. You worked hard.
Michelle LaVaughn Robinson, girl of the South Side. For the past 25 years, you have not only been my wife and mother of my children, you have been my best friend.
This is the daughter's crying.
You took on a role you didn't ask for, and you made it your own, with grace and with grit and with style and with humor.
That's why I be telling my wife someday.
And he's crying now.
You made the White House a place that belongs to everybody. And a new generation sets its sights higher because it has you as a role model.
Hey,
You have made me proud, and you have made the country proud.
you're the best
Yes, yes. Thank you.
first lady in America. Not only black, but proud.
And Sasha, under the strangest of circumstances, you have become two amazing young women. You are smart and you are beautiful, but more importantly, you are kind and you are thoughtful and you are full of passion. And
You don't only take after your mother, but you got
the burden of years in the spotlight so easily. Of all that I have done in my life, I am most proud to be your dad.
hey.
To Joe Biden,
I used to ride a train with him.
the scrappy kid from Scranton, who became Delaware's favorite son. You were the first decision I made as a nominee, and it was the best. Not just because you have been a great vice president, but because in the bargain I gained a brother. And we love you and Jill like family, and your friendship has been one of the great joys of our lives.
Try not to cry.
To my remarkable staff, for 8 years, and for some of you a whole lot more, I have drawn from your energy, and every day I try to reflect back what you displayed: heart and character and idealism. I watched you grow up, get married, have kids, start incredible new journeys of your own. Even when times got tough and frustrating, you never let Washington get the better of it. You guarded against cynicism. And the only thing that makes me prouder than all the good that we've done is the thought of all the amazing things that you are going to achieve from here.
Going forward. Thank you, brother.
And to all of you out there, every organizer who moved to an unfamiliar town, every kind family who welcomed them in, every volunteer who knocked on doors, every young person who cast a ballot for the first time, every American who lived and breathed the hard work of change. You are the best supporters and organizers anybody could ever hope for, and I will be forever grateful. Because you did change the world. You did. And that's why I leave this stage tonight even more optimistic about this country than when we started. Because I know our work has not only helped so many Americans, it has inspired so many Americans, especially so many young people out there, to believe that you can make a difference, to hitch your wagon to something bigger than yourselves. Let me tell you, this generation coming up, unselfish, altruistic, creative, patriotic, I've seen you in every corner of the country. You believe in a fair and just and inclusive America. You know that constant change has been America's hallmark, that it's not something to fear, but something to embrace. You are willing to carry this hard work of democracy forward. You'll soon outnumber all of us, and I believe as a result, the future is in good hands. My fellow Americans, it has been the honor of my life to serve you. I won't stop. In fact, I will be right there with you as a citizen for all my remaining days. But for now, whether you are young or whether you're young at heart, I do have one final ask of you as your president. The same thing I asked when you took a chance on me 8 years ago. I'm asking you to believe, not in my ability to bring about change, but in yours. I'm asking you to hold fast to that faith written into our founding documents, that idea whispered by slaves and abolitionists, that spirit sung by immigrants and homesteaders and those who marched for justice, that creed reaffirmed by those who planted flags from foreign battlefields to the surface of the moon. A creed at the core of every American whose story is not yet written. Yes, we can. Yes, we did. Yes, we can. Thank you.
That's it. Yes, we can, Obama. We are all stakeholders. Yes, we can. Nobody in the world can match that. That man is a scholar, has good brains, nice looking too.
Oh, what was it doing there for? What was it doing that for?
It just came on and you turn it off
I
again.
didn't do that. I hadn't touched it. Okay. This don't chicken do.
One of the daughters was not there today.
Yeah, the youngest one.
President Barack Obama, along with the First Lady and his elder daughter, Malia, joined on stage as well by Vice President Joe Biden and his wife, Dr. Jill Biden. We saw the big, heartfelt hug between the president and the vice president there. These, of course, were President Obama's final public remarks. This is his farewell address. He will be president for another 10 days until his successor is sworn in. This is an unusual setting, an unusual approach for a farewell address. Our last two presidents to leave office did a farewell address, small scale, each of them less than 15 minutes, both of them done from the White House. This comes up on just under 1 hour with a lot of time for applause and for sort of soaking in the adoration of this enormous crowd. There's 20,000 people there at McCormick Place in Chicago. This is a huge convention center. There's sort of free tickets that were given out. Some just to people who lined up in the pre-dawn hours in sub-zero temperatures
Well, I've gone down there,
on
Joe.
Saturday morning in Chicago to be able to get in.
It's all right.
This is also, if you know anybody who's ever had any association with the Obama administration, you'll also know that this was sort of a last family reunion. People who were involved in any of the president's campaigns. You heard him shout out people who worked on his 2012 re-election campaign, his 2008 campaign to become president, even his campaign before that in 2004 to become a United States senator. And of course, he's gone home to do this. This is Chicago, where he worked as a community organizer, where he became a state senator from the south side of Chicago, and from which he launched his initial foray into national politics. He started his first national profile really grew from his speech at the Democratic National Convention in 2004. You'll remember that speech. It's not red states America, it's not blue states America, it's the United States of America. Well, that speech, which really launched him as a national figure, there were 17,000 people in the room for that unbelievable speech. There are 20,000 people in the room for this one, and this is not usually the way that presidents say goodbye. I'm Rachel Maddow here in New York. I'm joined by a number of my friends here from MSNBC. First to my dear colleague, Chris Matthews. Chris, what did you think?
Well, I agree with you. In 2004, I remember coming off of watching that and saying, here's your first African-American president. Many people saw that for the first time.
Yeah.
With the unusual name and somewhat exotic name of Barack Hussein Obama. I think tonight that it's always interesting to try to find the lead. I think it's I Won't Stop. And although it had the coloration and the clothing of a nonpartisan speech, it was a rearguard action. He clearly said, I'm going to defend my decisions on Cuba. I'm going to defend the facts, the science that I've been guided by as president. I'm going to defend concerns about climate change and action on that. I'm going to defend
He's a very humble guy.
any Muslim ban. So he basically drew
Huge
a lot of
applause when he said that.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
the big applause tonight, which I think was so current in our thinking. We don't want that in this country. And I think it's interesting that his candidate,
Yes,
appointee
low
for Attorney
profile.
General, even said, a Southern conservative said that today.
Jeff Sessions today in his
He
confirmation
drew his line, he took on that. So I thought it was in many ways, as I said, a speech that had the sound and the clothing of
humble.
a nonpartisan speech. It was very much if not a cri de guerre, a statement that I'm going to be in this thing and I'm going to be calling this guy. And I thought this was the best line. Actually, I don't want to hide this, but this, I think, really got to the heart of his fight with Trump. And it is a fight. After all, if every economic issue is framed as a struggle between a hard-working white middle class and undeserving minorities, then workers of all shades will be left fighting for scraps while the wealthy withdraw further into their private enclaves. Boy, that's a statement.
That's powerful.
We should also note that there was just a very unusual ending to this speech. I mean, in part, I think because speeches aren't usually approached this way. We've never really had such a long, heartfelt thank you. Again, a little bit of the family reunion here, feel here, but you saw Malia Obama, his eldest daughter, wiping away a tear as he thanked his wife, and then the president himself taking out his handkerchief and wiping away a tear, thanking people who worked in his campaign, thanking his vice president, thanking people who got him where he was, and making a cry that people should get back involved. It's now 10 o'clock on the East Coast. I'm Rachel Maddow with our continuing coverage of President Obama's farewell address in Chicago tonight. I'm joined by a number of my MSNBC colleagues here, including Chris Matthews and Chris Hayes here on set. Chris, I wanted to ask you about a remark you and I both, while we were watching the speech, commented on this. He said, with some humor in his voice, if you're tired of arguing with strangers on the internet, try to talk with one in real life. If something needs fixing, lace up your shoes and do some organizing. If you're disappointed by your elected officials, grab a clipboard, get some signatures, run for office yourself, show up, dive in, persevere.
You know, it was I think what was powerful about that portion and the speech in general is that if there's anyone who has a right to well-earned cynicism about American politics, it's probably Barack Obama. I mean, at one level, right, he's this remarkable story. He was elected twice. But also watching what has happened during his tenure and who will be coming after him.
Yeah.
You can
In terms of
imagine
the distance from his
in
own
terms of
values?
distance from his own value. I think you can imagine him or someone, a lot of people who support him being cynical. And this whole speech was